Broadcasting from Watts Creative Studios and live on Grove Street FM. You're listening to Cool Talk Live, brought to you by Brown's Heating and Air, with your host, Brandon Brown.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Cool Talk with Brown's Heating and Air. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for following us on all of our podcast applications, Apple, Spotify, Android, and of course, GroveStreet.fm, Facebook page, and the website. We are trying something new today. Woody's done upgrade. I mean, we got a lot of upgrades here. We got now soundproofing, got new headphones. Now we're live on the camera as well.
Studio cam behind
the scenes. Look at this is a beautiful setup. This is where all the podcast magic takes place. So, do I need to hide my Diet Mountain Dew bottle for copyright?
No, hopefully they'll sponsor.
Yeah, we're going to reach out to them.
We love Diet Mountain Dew.
So yes, yeah. Woody's drinking it over there as well. So, how you doing this week, Woody?
Man, I'm rocking and rolling.
Good.
It's a beautiful. There's a change in the air. The weather's changing. Yeah. I think everything's kind of brighter for some reason. So here we go. So
yeah, it's spring here. I can tell that by the pollen on my truck and in my throat every morning now.
I have stocked up on my Claritin, so I should be good to go, I think.
That's right. Today, we wanted to, first before I get into my topic, I wanted to thank, we have actually filled all three of our top spots for donors for the Browns giveaway that's coming up this year. So all three of the top spots are filled. We want to thank Foster Fuels, who joined this week, in Central Virginia Business Coalition with Heather Alto, and join in again on the GroveStreet.fm or the podcast app. She comes on from 12 to 1 with her podcast, a lot of local interviews and local businesses here in Central Virginia. So make sure you tune into that as well. And also Omni Productions, Kim, who was on here last week, who is doing the Lynchburg Wine and Music Festival coming up the 23rd of this month. So make sure you go on and get tickets. There's still some tickets available. It's this Saturday. I mean, not this Saturday, the following, the 23rd from 12 to 7. 3 or 4 bands and food vendors, all the wine and beer trucks. It's a huge event. And just know that every ticket you buy, that they also donate a percentage of every ticket and of each event to 3 or 4 nonprofits in the area.
That's awesome.
It's definitely a great event. So everybody that's going, we are the wine glass sponsor this year. So as soon as you check in, come by the Brown's Heating and Air tent, get your glass. It's an awesome looking glass, has our logo on it, and I believe it's 2,000 glasses. So make sure the first 2,000 people just come to that tent first and get your glass for your sampling or just to take home to keep. And it's a really nice glass.
They're limited editions.
Yes, limited editions.
Limited special editions.
Yeah, Brown's Heating and Air and Plumbing. The new logo is on it. So this is the first thing I think we've had event with the new logo on it. So this will be. And they're nice. They sent us a preview, and it's a really nice glass. So, yeah, come to that event the 23rd if you're out. Hopefully it's beautiful weather, great bands. Bring your lawn chairs, and there's plenty of parking. It's at the city stadium, Lynchburg City Stadium. So there's all the parking around at the Steel, Lynchburg. I think it's Banker Steel down there. They let you park in certain businesses. So they'll be get there early, get in line because they do fill up quick. And get your tickets now before the price goes up at the gate. Every express lane in Lynchburg and surrounding areas has tickets as well. If you can't get them online and want to pay cash, they have tickets as well. So, so the Browns giveaway will be kicking off soon. We are excited to have those 3. We still have opening spots for some sponsorships and donations. So if you go to thebrownsgiveaway.com, there's a contact link there. You can enter your info and how you would like to help. And our timeline right now is still around August, opening up for nominations. We start early because we want to start promoting it early, make sure everybody knows about it, and in that people that really are in need are ready to nominate and or be nominated to get that system giveaway. So definitely visit us on thebrownsgiveaway.com.
And it was a fantastic response last year. voting, everything was just like, because I remember we were checking it
Yeah, every day.
every day, and it was just like, man, this is fantastic that everybody's this invested, and it really was it was like literally down to the minute when we announced it that it was that close.
Yeah, and it was so many nominations. I think your spreadsheet had over
Oh my God, I felt bad for
over
for
1,000
the crew.
different nominations,
Yeah,
and literally going through them, over 80% of them were legit hardcore stories that really, really just tore your heartstrings.
yeah,
And to narrow that down, really, it's if it wasn't for the community helping vote at the very end, we probably could not have picked a win like a one of them out of the three, because all three that were the finalists deserved it.
Yeah.
And they did get, everybody walks away with a huge gift basket, and that's what we're doing now, asking for donors and sponsors. They get a huge gift basket with home goods, gift cards for restaurants, stuff from Lowe's, different things they need, because we do visit the homes before they get on the final voting and see different things they need in case we see something else that's a real dire need. We reach out to subs, so then we put our baskets together. So all three of them, I think it was over $1,500 worth of giveaways. So this year we expect, now that it's been out once, we expect, I think, more nominations. So that's why we like to prepare everybody that we'll open up, I think, nominations around August, and then we vote and stuff in September and announce the winner in October is usually the time frame. But
and I think one of the important things that you kept talking about is like, if you nominated someone this past time and they didn't get it and they were really deserving,
yeah,
it's a good thing to nominate them again.
Yeah,
because
definitely,
because
please.
it really I felt, you had a crew of people
Yeah.
going through this spreadsheet, and it wasn't like you randomly picked a name, like it was so many people that were deserving. So
Yes.
it just I think this is
definitely
definitely a need.
Definitely nominate again. And one thing we learned, I guess we did a lot of trial and error on the first one. If you do nominate again, the more info you can give in the description of why these people need a system and what's going on, the better. Because we had so many that we thought were deserving, but there just wasn't enough info. So it kind of made it hard because we were on a time crunch. So when you nominate, the form will come out. We've updated it. It'll be a more updated form with more information and a spot where you can really describe, the situation they're in. And I know a lot of people don't want that out there. It's private. We keep it confidential. It's on that sheet. Nobody can see it. And then, before we do get to the final three, we meet them and interview them and ask them, what do you want to put out, what you don't want to put out before the public votes. So we do keep it confidential, but yeah, the more info, the better, because it is easier for us to narrow it down if we know the full story. And that just helps. So just keep that in mind. If you know somebody, when it comes time to nominate, try to go ahead and get their info. If because some people nominated their neighbors, they didn't know their story, but they said, hey, I know they don't have heating and air. I know there's some stuff going on, but I just want to nominate them. So if you know now, to go on and say, hey, I want to nominate you this year, what is it that you really need and why? And try to get us the information. That'll help a lot. So that form will be updated. It'll be a lot more information to pertain to and put into that. So, but yeah, we're excited for that. We've already been meeting. I didn't know it was, this much planning for something, but hey, it's great. We got people that love, that are dedicated, that are on the team.
It's already May.
Yeah.
Almost May, and so
That's
we're
true.
actually the email.
Man.
We're on an email chain, and we're scheduling meetings in May and trying to pin everybody down already.
Yeah,
It's like,
and it's
oh,
hard,
man.
especially with summer coming, because
Oh, my
you don't want to
gosh.
ruin people's summer vacations and trips. Everybody gets busy in the summer, so trying to nail down, getting the commercial made and the form made and all the logistics of the donations and stuff down, so it's more of a smoother process. So, of course, we thank Watts Creative Studios and Chick-fil-A from the beginning that partnered with us immediately and still with us for this giveaway. That they're the ones really helping us, make this possible. So it's going to be fun. So definitely stay tuned, and again, contact us on brownsgiveaway.com. The one thing I was going to talk about today, I keep seeing, I don't know why, but recently, more and more on Facebook, I've seen a lot of people post about contractor scams. and it's getting really bad in this area. I don't know, a lot of people listen to us all over the country, and it's going to happen everywhere. So I'm just seeing more and more posts of I paid this person up front. They didn't come back. They started the work. They didn't come back. Now what I had to get somebody else to finish because I found out they're doing it wrong. So a couple of tips I wanted to give that people are listening, that things you can do before you sign, a contract to do something, whether it's home remodeling, adding a deck, heating and air, electrical, plumbing, any of that things that you're really going to put a good amount of money in. It's definitely worth the homework before you sign a contract, because we always talk about here, cheaper is not always better. There's sometimes always a reason for that. Number two, in my experience and history, and I'm not saying this for all cases, but I have seen a high rate of when contractors or people ask for so much money up front. It's always, to me, it's always been a red flag that, one, they either have some other money issues going on or job issues going on or something. There's no credit built somewhere. Those are the ones where you really want to investigate. I've had people do work in my house before, and they ask for money up front, and I'll say, no, if you come start, you bring the materials here with the receipt at the end of the first day, I'll write you a check for the materials. But never pay somebody up front half a bill or something for materials that you don't have on your property, because you will be fighting almost a losing war trying to get your money back and to keep them accountable, because I see it every day, and I'm starting to see more and more posts of it, people that are getting scammed. One thing you can do, there's a couple things I would recommend if you're going to do, because one, I would not pay. Even though you're signing a contract, if it's just a handwritten contract, it's something wrong with that. Make sure you're getting a legit company that is licensed, insured, and established. To me, I mean, that's worth the extra money, because I've seen people that have paid and they're posting, I paid half of this project. Now I'm paying a contractor to come in and fix it plus do it right, and it costs me more, but it would have saved them in the long run. So do your homework, especially on things like decks or rebuild. I mean, stuff that you think that might need a permit, ask the contractor, is this need a permit? And if they say no, you can always call your local officials. There's a building inspections office in every county. Lynchburg City, Campbell, Bedford, everybody has a local official. They answer the phone every day, 9 to 5 or 9 to 4, whatever it is, and you can ask them, I live at this address. I'm going to be getting this work done. Does it need a permit? And they will tell you yes or no. And if they tell you yes, it needs a permit, but the contractor says no, we don't need a permit, we'll be okay, then more than likely that contractor is not licensed or not in good standing with the state. They're just trying to do it on the side, and then there's a red flag that you don't want to sign that contractor. So the building officials around, they're really helpful. They see it a lot of times too late, especially when we're getting these posts and they call and say, so-and-so already got half my money and left. Now it's too late. So definitely call them when you're doing a big project and confirm you don't need a permit. You can also go to the DPOR website, which is the Department of Professional and Occupational Regulation in Virginia. It's DPOR, DPOR.Virginia, spelled out, .gov. So if you go to dpor.virginia.gov, there's a way to go on there and search up contractors. You can search them by their name, by their business name, and there's advanced searches and addresses. And then if you pull them up, if they're licensed in that field that they say they are, it'll come up there. Licensed, they're in good standing. You can print it, so you'll have a license number if you need to call back to your local official. This is so-and-so. Do you have any issues with this person doing work? They'll tell you if there's any red flags or citations in that county. You can also go and then to DPOR and call them as well if you don't find them, because maybe their name is Bill, but on their license they're William or something of that nature. You can always call the DPOR. There's an 800 number and say, so-and-so in this address is going to be doing an addition on my house. I want to make sure they have their Class A builder's license plus all other license and insurances, so that if they go to pull the permit, there's no issues, and they will give you that information. So definitely check that out. That's free information. That's free website. that could save you thousands in the long run. Because we're seeing a lot of that on now post up. So and so did it, and it's sad, but it always comes out in the worst of times. Like right now, inflation and gas prices are up. So you're going to start seeing more scams because yes, I can save you $1,000 to do this work because I know gas is up on you and you can't afford the extra $1,000. But in the long run, it's going to cost you that $1,000 plus some if somebody does it. And these people are really good at it. They'll get 3 or 4 jobs. They'll collect the money. And then once they know that someone's going to turn them in, they'll start another business license in a different name or change the permits to a different name so they're not caught. So definitely do your homework before you pay. I would highly recommend not paying anything up front without materials on site. It's your house. It's your contract, but it's also your job. You do not have to pay for stuff by law up front. If a contractor is doing that, there's usually an issue somewhere that you need to get worked out. But if they come to your house and they work the first day and they bring you all the receipts and say, look, at least cover my materials, then, that's a good, that's fine. Because I've had that happen. And the materials are on site so that if they leave and don't come back, the materials are now yours. You don't have to worry about buying more materials. You just have to find somebody to put it in. So I would recommend, definitely signing a contract that is legit, printed out with all the terms and stuff. And if you have a family friend that's a lawyer or an attorney that could always look over it before you sign it, that's also recommended. And sometimes lawyers will know what people have done or not done in the area. If they're getting sued or not, they could probably tell you, hey, I'd recommend not using this person or something because they know a little bit more, in the legal side of it than you may find out at the county office. So that's some things, definitely some tips on that because I hate to see people get on there and lose their money, lose all their, a lot of money they've saved for projects and then people not answer the phone. So definitely check them out. If they have a website or Facebook, check the reviews, ask for referrals. We have people all the time, Heating and Air. Hey, other than looking at our Google page and seeing reviews, like, hey, do you have referrals? Yeah, here's 3 or 4 customers. Especially when we do a big job here, go call them, go by and see, and the customer will let them come see the work and let them see and talk to them and review the work we've done and tell them, yes, they're good to use or and stuff like that. So use your free information that you have in front of you. Use it good because it's definitely there, and it's definitely it definitely will save you a lot of money. Because I hate to see people get screwed. Like Woody, you just did you did a renovation on your back and deck and different things. And could you imagine if someone charged you half of what you paid and didn't show up?
I mean, you're already talking about a stressful thing anyway. And then, but the thing that I like is that this is a small enough community where if you start talking to other people and say, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. Have you heard about this builder? Or this, heating and air company, you're going to get, everybody kind of knows everybody, and you're going to get some opinions.
Yeah.
And I could not imagine if our builders had failed. I mean, it just, because like you said, not only are you out of money, but then you've got to hire somebody in to come clean up a mess. And that's going to be even more expensive than if they had done it originally. And so it does not hurt to ask around.
And it's a safety thing. Like if your deck's off the ground, let's say it's not done right or inspected, and you walk out there and it falls.
Yeah.
And then you don't ever find this contractor again who pays for the medical and the fix it and all. I mean, it could be a dangerous, a lot of things people do on adding on to houses or re-plumbing or re-electrical, heating air. It can get dangerous if it's not done right and inspected properly.
And plus you want it done right. So like, especially this housing market, like if you ever go to sell your house, the last thing you want to do is a home inspection come through and then, your deck is falling off. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, that could be a deal breaker. Yeah. Like, you'll just get it done right the first time.
That's what I tell people. And it's sad, but it's true. We price a lot of heating and air, and I used to tell people that you would always call and say, hey, can you match their price? And they'd show me everything. I'm like, we don't match prices because they don't match our quality. You got to match the quality. Do you go out and buy when you go out and buy a new car, you go by the Carfax. You're not going to buy a lemon. You're going to spend the extra money for the car that has a clean Carfax and know it's going to safely get you where you are than to save a couple thousand to get a car that every time you start it, you don't know if you're going to get stranded on the side of the road, because a Carfax is cleaner. And that's the same thing with all your builders and contractors, anybody. They should have we don't have a Carfax, but we have a history in the counties of where we've done inspections. And they can pull them. Yep, they can go right now. Campbell County, Brown's Heating and Air has had whatever, let's say 200 permits or whatever in the last 3 years, and every one of them have ended up passing and being taken care of if there was an issue. Well, then if you go to somebody else and say, well, that company's never pulled a permit, so let's see what's going on. Are they just trying to do it without, on the side, or cut shortcuts, or are they doing it illegally? Because I mean, if you saw, somebody sent me a picture the other day as a guy that does heating and air locally here, that does every job he does is illegal. He's still installing used equipment, R22. He doesn't have his license. He's been arrested 3 or 4 times for this. And again, he still got somebody like 2 weeks ago where he collected all the money and didn't show up to put the air conditioning in. So that's the things that you need to be checking. There's reasons I took a ton of classes and got my MasterCard, my Class A license, and all my insurances straight before I went in business. Yep. It's not worth someone trying to pay somebody doing it on the side and save a few $100, because I'm telling you, as soon as you get a family friend to come in and do something and your house burns down, they're going to decline your insurance, and the person that did it ain't going to pay. So just think about these things, anything you do, because it's a lot easier to get that nailed out before you sign a contract. So
and you all do a fantastic job of collecting reviews from customers regarding your tech, regarding the install, because I mean, nowadays, a Google search is free. If you search Brown's Heating and Air, and you will see the reviews pop up like that. I mean, they are worth something.
Yeah, that's it's a lot of work to do that and build that. Thank you, I appreciate that. It definitely is a lot of work. 17 years we've been doing it, and our goal is to leave every house and every customer happy or happier than when we were there. And if there's an issue, and you're not going to do that every time, nobody's perfect, but the real answer on how your company is how you respond to that review or that complaint. If someone has an issue, you fix it. You don't just ignore them and get mad and say, nah, they're just crazy people. You do what you can do to make that person happy. That's your job as a business owner, is to do the extra mile. If they have an issue, even if it's small and it may not be your fault, you fix it. And you make sure when you leave, they're happy. Now, if you have been scammed and live in Virginia, a lot of people don't know this, but there is a Virginia Contractor Transaction Recovery Act. And what that is, if you go on the DPOR site and you search that, there's a place on there where you can file a claim for improper or dishonest conduct, which is a crime. You can file a complete claim on there, list who scammed you, what happened. A DPOR representative reaches out, and there's money in the recovery fund to try to get some of your money back if they find that this was a legit case. And people don't know about that. So there is money there, that thousands and thousands, that never gets used. That's there every year for Virginia. If you have an employee, so the state law prohibits the following from filing a recovery fund claim, though: an employee, vendor, spouse, or child of the contractor. Another licensed contractor cannot apply. Anyone whose business involves the construction and development of real property. So you have to be the actual person that does it. Nobody can file for you. So if you've been scammed, you go on there, file a claim. They'll find out who it was. They'll try to find the person. That's what happens to some of these that get arrested. There are actual DPOR investigators that are cops that will check these out. And if they're doing against the law, they will get arrested and charged with this crime. So if you've lost money, go there. They give you up to $20,000. There's a limit. So I know if you have a big case, it may not work, but the Recovery Act will award up to $20,000. If multiple claims involving one contractor exceed $40,000, the claim amounts will be prorated. So that's what they do. They do have up to $20,000 for anything if you've gotten scammed. So definitely do that. It's not necessary for that. You don't have to have an attorney. So that's one good thing about this. You don't have to pay an attorney to help you through this case. You can go on there and file it, work with the DPOR investigators yourself. They will help you get through to the end. And if there is a legit claim, they will help you find the funds to repay you for the money they stole, and then go get the guy or the people that stole the money. So that's really a good thing that people don't know about. So definitely look into that if you have been recently scammed in Virginia. Check out that DPOR site. I mean, that's a lot of free information. All my information's on there. Anybody needs my license numbers, my Class A, my MasterCard, it's on that site. It's free public information and anybody that does work should be very willing to show you their card or take you to this site and show you that they're in good standing with the state, and will give you reviews and call the inspectors. They'll see if they're good to do work. So definitely check that site out, and don't forget about our giveaway and everything we got coming up. I hope everybody has a wonderful Easter this weekend, and great time with their family and friends, eating a lot of food, and be thankful for the reason that we get to celebrate Easter. God bless and have a good week.